All right, what's up, y'all? The dialogue around Cody Rhodes being undisputed champion has started again, and I'm gonna tell you like this here. I understand it. I'm looking at the Smackdown roster right now. There are no heels on a main event level that can contend against Cody Rhodes right now. None. Unless during the bloodline, there's none. AJ Styles, he already beat AJ. You have, who else you have here? Austin Theory, he's in a tag team. They're not going to do that. Baron Corbin, I don't know if he's a face or a heel. I don't know what he is. No one wants to see a Cody and a Baron Corbin feud. Melo's a heel, but he's in the U.S. Championship stuff, and he's coming off of 2 losses to Andrade. Let's see. Jacob Fatu, he's in the bloodline and injured, and is he tag team champion kind of? I think, are they doing like the Freebird rule with the blood? I don't know what they're doing with that, but no. KO's getting a title shot for no reason, and that's a problem within itself. This company always falls into the trap of babyface champion, and I have friends, and I'm going to give all my friends championship shots, even if they tell me 46 times that they don't want it, or they acknowledge that they don't deserve it. But we're still going to give them a title shot. Why? Because we have nothing else. This SmackDown roster doesn't have enough heels to go up against Cody. They barely have enough faces. LA Knight, he a face, but he's U.S. champion. Logan Paul already went through that. They won't break up the Street Profits and give Montez Ford a shot, or Dawkins for that matter. You have Randy, who I would hope is on the horizon, but he's a face right now and getting a title shot against Gunther soon. Roman, we all know what that is. So Roman is like 1. Santos Escobar, U.S. Championship stuff. Shinsuke Nakamura hasn't been seen in weeks. Solo Sikoa just beat him. Tama Tonga, no. Tangaloa, bloodline, and sucks. Who else? And I think right now we're realizing how bad the draft went for SmackDown, because SmackDown doesn't have anybody. Cody is a face Universal Champion on a show where there's a little bit of faces and no sustainable heels to go up against them that aren't Samoan. Like, it's crazy. And then you go to the Raw roster. The Raw roster has Braun Strowman, Bronson Reed, who they're finally building up the right way, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Finn Balor, Ilya Dragunov, like Jey Uso. They have so many people. They have so many people on this roster. You have Miz. You have Rey Mysterio. You have Sammy. You have Rollins. You have Sheamus. You have Xavier Woods. Raw is demolishing SmackDown as far as the roster goes. Raw is freaking loaded, bro. So what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do with this? Cody Rhodes cannot be a world champion on a roster where he has no one to defend against. Either that or Cody's going to lose this belt to Randy Orton really quickly. Because what else is Cody going to do? Say Cody beats Randy at Bad Blood. Then what? Rematch? Okay. Then what? There's no one on the SmackDown roster. There's no one for Cody to go up against on the SmackDown roster. So what is he to do? What is he to do at this moment? And like, criticizing the run early on it makes sense. I understand why people are criticizing it, but there's nothing they can do to fix it unless they start doing some superstar shakeups. Because SmackDown's roster and Raw's roster are 2 totally different rosters. Raw is loaded forever, and SmackDown is depleted. There's no one for Cody to fight after he beats Randy Orton, after he beats KO. And let's just say Randy never turns, he never goes against Cody, he never turns heel. So Cody will beat KO at Bash in Berlin. Who's Cody's next opponent? Rock? You gonna bring Rock back? Okay, that's cool. You got him for 1-2 matches. Then what? There's no one here. Cody's gonna be defending against the Bloodline for the rest of his life. There's no one here. But on Raw's roster, you have multiple programs. A Cody and CM Punk program will be amazing. Like Cody and Dragunov, Cody and Jay. You can tell that story. That would be a mutual respect story that you can actually make something out of. But they're not doing it. And there's no one for Cody to defend against. So this run is only going to get worse. And now I'm looking at the NXT roster. There isn't many people they can just bring up from NXT because they're still trying to get developed on their own. So what are you going to do? What possibly can you do right now with a face champion on a depleted roster, SmackDown? What are you going to do? And that's the worst thing about this Cody run. It's not going to be a bad run, but it's going to be a boring run because there's no one for Cody to go up against. There's no one sustainable on this roster, on this SmackDown roster. So we're just left with Cody fighting people who he respects and fighting every face and beating every face until then what? Then what happens? Nothing happens. And that's the problem. That's the issue that is plaguing this company and Cody Rhodes right now. And I don't want Cody's run to just be fighting the bloodline, because it could be more than that. But thing is, I don't even know what the solution is unless they're just going to move some superstars over to SmackDown. But you can't move Punk over. He's in the middle of a Drew McIntyre and Rollins feud. You know, the only people you can bring over right now, if you wanted to, is like Dragunov you can bring over. Jay is eventually going to be on SmackDown anyway, so you can bring him over. I don't know. I really don't know. Sammy's taking time off, so not him. Rollins is injured and in a feud, so no. Sheamus, maybe. Xavier Woods, maybe, depending on how this heel turn breakup New Day thing is going. They don't have many assets. Bronson Reed, that's a good one, I guess. But he couldn't even beat mid-card people, so a few attacks on Rollins and R-Truth shouldn't just get him a championship shot against Cody. There's no levels. There's an issue. There's many discrepancies with this. And they're going to keep falling into this trap. And it's their own fault because they put so much assets into Roman Reigns and him beating everyone possible. Now you have someone who beat Roman Reigns and you have no one to continue the legacy of the championship. Because it seems like they didn't even prepare for Cody to be champion. Even though they acted like they knew. You knew Cody was going to be champion as soon as he came back. At some point, when Cody came back at WrestleMania, what was it, 38? You knew he was going to be champion. They told you that night he was going to be the man to beat Roman Reigns. So you had 2-3 years to prepare your rosters. You had 2 different drafts to prepare your rosters for a face champion, and you haven't done it. So what do we do now? What possibly do we, how do we get Cody from here to, say, WrestleMania? What do you do? They're in trouble, man. I don't know how they're going to get out of this. That's why it's really unfortunate that Bobby's leaving or possibly leaving, because Bobby would have been a great feud, you know, a great heel versus face feud. Turning Bobby heel isn't that hard, even though I feel like the crowd wouldn't want to do it, but still, you know. So the only thing they can do now is just bring legends back. like I don't know what they can do. They're gonna have to figure something out, you know. Maybe if Jimmy Uso comes back, then they can. Cody's gonna be bloodline coded for this entire title run, and I don't want that for him. Could that we all know the only person that has a realistic chance of beating Cody is Roman again. And I don't even think that's going to happen. Rock's not going to beat him. Jimmy, Solo, Tongaloa, Jacob, Jay, none of them are going to beat him. None of them should beat him. So what's the point? You have no one outside of the bloodline that can contend against Cody for this championship. And if the people that you do have, they're not even on SmackDown. So unless you're just going to forget the draft or start moving people over, what are you going to do? They only have 2 options. Start moving people over to SmackDown or just not care about the draft anymore. And both of those decisions aren't good. Both of those things shouldn't be happening. But I don't know, man. I really don't know what they're gonna do, and I'm very worried about the future of Cody's run if they don't figure something out. Maybe they have something planned out perfectly for this. I just don't know what it possibly could be. I don't know. So we'll see what happens, man. If you know a solution to this, please let me know in the comments, because I have no solution right now. I don't know what to do. I have no idea what they're gonna do, and that's bad for Cody. And I don't want Cody's run to be diminished by terrible creative and poor planning for this, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully they figure something out. But y'all let me know in the comments down below. If you like the video, let me know by liking the video. Subscribe if you're new, subscribe if you have not already. Comment down below, because we'll do next presentation. I love you guys, and I will see you. Praise God. I'll see you in the next video, man.